Am I the idiot for breaking up with my pregnant girlfriend because I don't want to be a father? I, 25-year-old male, had been with my now ex, 23-year-old female, for a little over 3 months. I always made sure we used lots of precaution when having sex. She was on birth control, and I always used condoms. I wanted to avoid a child. I have known for a long time that I do not want children. I find them annoying, and they would severely limit my ability to do the things I enjoy, traveling, outdoors stuff, etc. Unfortunately for me, my ex didn't have her period when she was supposed to, and it turns out she's now pregnant. She came to me and told me she was pregnant. The first thing I did was suggest an abortion. We don't live in a state where it's legal, so I offered to pay for her flight and hotel, and told her I'd be happy to come with her to get it done. I have a stable job and make good money, so it wouldn't be too much of a hit for me. She works as a receptionist and doesn't make a lot, so I figured it would be better for me to pay. That's when she told me she was hoping to keep it and that she wanted me to help her raise the kid as its father. I have no intention of being a father. Beyond just my dislike of children, I'm not ready for that. I made it very clear that I didn't want the baby, but she kept insisting that I'd have a change of heart once it's born, and to just try it out. After a long exchange, I told her that if she intended to keep the baby, I would not act as a father. I broke up with her and told her that I would pay child support once it's born, but that I expect her to respect my wishes and keep the child away from me. Since then, she's been frantically texting me, begging me to come back and telling me she'd forgive me. She sent me voicemails, crying. It does hurt to see, but I haven't responded. The other day, she texted me saying how she can't raise the kid alone and how I'm basically forcing her to get the abortion just by leaving. She called me an idiot, an abuser, and a sexist. She ended the text begging me to talk again. I certainly feel shitty. I really liked her, and we had a good relationship before this, but I just don't want to be a father. I'm already bitter about the fact that I'll have to pay child support for 18 years, which will somewhat limit me financially. I also feel it isn't right for a parent who doesn't want their child to be involved. I'd just end up taking that pent-up anger and bitterness out on the child who is ultimately innocent, which I feel isn't right. With all this said, I come here to ask, am I the idiot? I certainly feel like one, but I also stand by what I did. Clarifying edits. On the topic of a vasectomy, I tried. I met with a doctor last year and asked about getting one, but he refused and said every doctor he knows won't do it until you're at least 30. It's a conservative state, and while I dislike the politics, I was born and raised here, so I'm still attached to the state and have never felt the urge to leave. Someone said I should have flown elsewhere to get one, and I guess they're right, but I just didn't think about that. On the topic of birth control, I bought the condoms myself, so they were fine. Whenever we were done, I'd throw used condoms in the dumpster, so I don't think she went dumpster diving. I asked her on our first date if she was taking birth control, and she said yes. I took her for her word. Maybe foolish to just believe her, but if she was lying, she'd be the first I've met to lie about that. Most girls I've met are honest about it. I assume she was on the pill since that's the main birth control I know, but maybe she was on something else that I'm not educated enough on. That being said, I'll follow your advice and lawyer up, plus get a paternity test. IDK how long that will take, but whenever I get it done, I'll update here with results. Thank you for your judgments. I've been away for a bit, but I'm catching up and trying to read what I can. I'll be checking back periodically and replying to some people. All further feedback is appreciated. Update 1. I have hired one of the better family court lawyers in my state. She has someone representing her pro bono. It has been made clear to my ex and her representative that she is not to contact me personally, and that all contact will go through my lawyer from now on. A paternity test is scheduled for next Wednesday. I don't know how long it will take to get results, but the test is happening. If the child is mine, we will go to court to determine child support payments, and will set up the process for me to sign away my rights. Another clarifying edit. I was gone for a while, and while reading through some comments, I have found a topic I'd like to clarify for anyone left who still checks here and cares. At the beginning, I said I made sure to use lots of precautions. I had thought people would take away from that the idea that I had made my intention to not have kids clear at the beginning. Just wanted to make that clear. She told me she wasn't looking to have kids. I should have been more clear about this, I guess. I was under the assumption that she didn't want kids, which is why I was blindsided by her change of heart once she was actually pregnant. I understand it happens, feelings change or whatever, but for me, it was a big shock. When I go to get the paternity test started, she will also have an ultrasound, and we'll talk then. I'll update on Wednesday, BTW, the test will take a few days to process, so I'll also update with results. Update 2. Reddit isn't letting me post the full update here, so for further updates, please check my comments. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Yeah, it's shitty, but it's how you feel. I got stealthed way back when. My boyfriend took off the condom. I don't think he was trying to baby trap me. He was just an idiot. I got an abortion. I was a teen and didn't want a baby. I felt like poop, but I didn't want to have a kid, so I didn't. You don't have to either. Comment 2. If she continues pregnancy, you should also ask for a paternity test, as you were actively trying to prevent pregnancy. She can take a blood test while pregnant with no risk for the baby. That has to be done before you are on the birth certificate. You've only been together 3 months. Just be sure before you sign anything. Comment 3. Not the idiot. A 3-month relationship and you used protection. Are you even sure she is pregnant? Get a DNA test before paying any child support. You will need to talk to a family lawyer to sign away your rights and just pay support. Now, for the next story. We've been together for a couple of months, both in our mid-20s. This is my first adult relationship. She's been with as many as 20 guys before me. The other day, she asked me why we haven't had sex yet, and I told her it hasn't happened. To be honest, I don't feel comfortable having sex with her because she's been with so many guys already. I'm a virgin, so I know I don't have any STDs. I would feel better about the situation if she were a virgin too, but because she's not, I'm hesitant. It only takes one person. I flat out told her I'm not going to have sex with her unless she gets tested, and I won't ever have sex with her without a condom. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. I was going to say, not the idiot because you wanted a test, but after reading how you responded to comments, you're the idiot. You have a right to know if she's been tested, but you very clearly just don't like that she isn't a virgin. You should either break up with her or tell her how you feel, and don't dance around with, you need to get tested. You responded to accusations of slut-shaming with, my health comes first. You didn't even deny that you are slut-shaming. Absolutely wild how you painted her as the bad guy. Edit. The guy says he's only dating her because he feels bad. If this isn't a troll, break up with her. OMFG, she deserves better. Comment 2. Not the idiot. However, it comes across as accusing her of being dirty due to her past partners, and may be better received if you got tested too and showed your results. There are STIs that you can still get in other ways, other than just sexual intercourse, so you saying you don't have any without having gotten tested yourself would send up red flags for me. I get tested every 6 months or before each new partner and share results openly. Informed consent is sexy. Comment 3. I don't feel comfortable having sex with her because she's been with so many guys, has some serious incel vibes. There's nothing wrong in asking your partner to get tested. Being in your first adult relationship in your ID20s male and judging your partner based on virginity is really shitty. Sex is fun, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying it as long as you're safe. Get off your high horse. Now, for the next story. My boyfriend and I were talking about children, how many we want, and how we would want to raise them. I told him the only way I would have children is if he stayed home until they turned 2. Our country has a 2-year-long parental leave. The pay depends on the old salary of the parent on leave, but it caps out at 140% of the minimum wage. Since I work in a better paying field than my boyfriend, it would make more sense financially for him to stay home than for me. Also, I have a few friends at home with their baby currently, and I can tell it's not something I would want for myself. I would want to go back to work after the first 3 to 6 months. My boyfriend tried to argue, but I told him that this is the only way I would be willing to have children. He got upset that I'm not open to compromises, and that I basically just decided for him too. But I didn't decide for him. I just told him how I imagine my future regarding children. Am I in the wrong for having such a strong stance and not being open to anything different? Update. During the original conversation, he started talking about compromises that still included me staying home for the 2 years, but with various help. Like us waiting for my mom to retire before having kids so she can come over to help, or me working from home while still taking care of the baby full-time too and such. I shut down this conversation and told him that this is the only way I would be willing to have children. After making this post and reading a lot of the comments, I sat down with him and asked him if he had any compromises that included me going back to work before the child's 2nd birthday, and he said no. He said he is not willing to stay home with the baby, and I doubled down on my stance too. It became clear that we should not have children together in the future, which I'm honestly fine with. He said that he never really thought about whether he wants children. It was always something he thought people just do. He told me he loves me and he can't imagine losing me over this, but he needs to think and reevaluate his view on life. It's a bit scary. It's weird to think about possibly ending our relationship over something that wouldn't even be an issue for years. But I'm glad we had this conversation, and I feel like it's important to get on the same page about things like this early on. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You placed a clear boundary. You do not want kids if you're the one home for 2 years. Also sounds like he may feel the same but is mad about it. So your options are no kids, or split ways and find a partner who is willing to stay home if kids are that important. To you sounds like it's not. He has to decide for himself. No idiots here. Comment 2. No idiots here. Honestly, it simply sounds like you have incompatible views on your future together. Could that change with time? Sure. But it's more likely that the more you talk about it, or the closer you get to marriage or a family as time passes, the more you'll realize and possibly resent each other for not being on the same page. Comment 3. Not the idiot. My husband was a stay-at-home dad for this reason. My income was more than his and had more room for growth. If he is not open to that, then you guys can either not have kids or separate now. You are not forcing him to stay home. And now is a good time for these conversations. Now, for the next story. I, 34-year-old male, had a birthday just yesterday, and my girlfriend, 36-year-old female, offered to bake me a cake. I told her that I would prefer a chocolate cake, devil's food, with chocolate icing, and nothing fancy. She is usually a great baker, and I guess she thought that wasn't sophisticated enough or something. She baked me a chocolate cake with vanilla icing between the 2 layers of cake, then surrounded it in chocolate frosting. The cake was fine, but I was disappointed because it was not what I wanted. She must have noticed and asked me if I was disappointed, so I was honest with her. Yes, I was disappointed. It wasn't the cake I asked for. I said, if I wanted vanilla in a cake, I would have asked for vanilla in the cake. I didn't make a scene. I didn't pout. I even ate half of a slice, the chocolate part. She got upset with me and said, but I've made vanilla cake before and you liked it. I pointed out that I don't mind vanilla icing, but it's not what I wanted for my birthday. Her feelings were hurt, and she even pulled a, I'm not going to make you any cake next year, which I replied with, I will order my own and get my money back if they don't do it like I want it. Apparently that was the last straw. She asked me to leave, later texted me that I embarrassed her in front of her kids, and now she won't reply to my messages. I think birthdays are important things, and I feel like I was honest with her when she asked me. I didn't want to lie about it. My friend told me I should have been grateful that she made me a cake at all, especially one that I've eaten and liked in the past. Maybe I overreacted a bit, though I don't feel like I did and hope to get a second opinion. Am I the idiot here? Edit. After looking at the comments, I've apologized to my girlfriend for being the partial idiot, but also asked her for an apology as well, because it looked like the results were about 50-50 on whether I was or wasn't, at least when I skimmed them. She hasn't replied yet, but I assume I'll hear from her today. She is probably just thinking about how she can best apologize to me. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Not necessarily for saying the cake wasn't what you wanted, although I would have kept my mouth shut, but for the way you spoke to her. It's so incredibly rude and disrespectful. If I wanted vanilla in a cake, I would have asked for vanilla in a cake. And I'll order my own and get my money back if they don't do it like I want it? That's insane. You're not 15 and she's not your mom. Not that anyone should speak to their mom that way either. She's your partner who did something nice for you. If I had a partner who spoke to me like that, I would be out the door immediately. Comment 2. There is so much in here. I don't know how many relationships you have been in, but in normal circles, a companion, a lover, a friend, receives all adoration for any effort to acknowledge an event. Whether it is Nana's devil's food cake or a cupcake from 7-Eleven. The effort was made. If you can't handle it with grace and gratitude, do her a favor and go away. Comment 3. It was a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting, only she put a thin layer of vanilla frosting inside. Dude, she made you a chocolate cake, as asked, and had plenty of chocolate frosting, as asked, but you got pouty about the inside filling. The thinnest layer. Being vanilla? Grow up, man. You're the idiot and don't expect any more baked goods. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.